My name is Nicholas Coppel. I'm what's called a Special Coordinator for the Regional Assistance Mission to the Solomon Islands. The Special Coordinator is the civilian who heads a regional peacekeeping mission to the Solomon Islands. It had been RAMSI, as it's known, was invited into the Solomon Islands in 2003 following 5 years of internal conflict. It's a permissive, multi-dimensional peacekeeping mission. Multi-dimensional in the sense it has a civilian component, a number of officials working in Ministry of Finance, Ministries of Justice, Customs, Internal Revenue, in key institutions of the state. It has a policing element, which is responsible for the restoration of law and order in the Solomon Islands, and a military component to provide security to the police. RAMSI is currently in a period which is known as transition. RAMSI arrived in the Solomon Islands in 2003. Now, in 2012, 9 years on, the country is very different. The RAMSI mission was designed and conceived as a post-conflict stabilisation mission. It was enormously successful in taking weapons out of the community in its first year. It has been since then working to rebuild the prison service, rebuild the Ministry of Finance and Treasury, doing work with the Director of Public Prosecutions, the government solicitor. That work has taken a bit longer, but the nature of the assistance, the style of assistance that RAMSI provides is still designed very much as a post-conflict one, and that is focused on providing individuals to do tasks. As time moves on and the capacity of the Solomon Islands has been built up, we need less of people doing things for the Solomon Islands and more people training Solomon Islanders to make the change sustainable. That's been happening for some time, but we've reached the point where we feel we can normalise the development assistance that's being provided to the Solomon Islands. So the aid component of RAMSI is going to be absorbed into Australia's bilateral aid program. There's a number of benefits in doing that. One is the design of those programs can be more appropriate for a developing country. The development program can plan for a longer term period of assistance. RAMSI was conceived as a short-term intervention. It has 4-year funding cycles, and that limits the design of the assistance that can be provided. But a longer time frame is now suited to face the longer term development challenges of those countries. But it also helps change perceptions. As you move to a more normal form of aid delivery, the perception of the country becomes one of a developing country with development challenges rather than a country with security challenges with some type of post-conflict intervention. And it's time to change that perception. No decisions have been made yet on the military, but discussions are underway. It's proposed that the military will withdraw in the second half of 2013. They haven't got a very large tasking at the moment. In the past, they've done things like provide perimeter security to the main prison, the maximum security prison in Honiara. They haven't been doing that since last year. They used to be doing patrols. They don't do patrols. So they're mainly confined to barracks, and they're there to provide a reserve force, if you like, if the police cannot manage to maintain law and order in the country. And they haven't been needed in that role for a number of years. So that's the basis, that's the reason why people are starting to talk about the possibility of the withdrawal of the military. Law and order will still be provided by, firstly, the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force, and that's backed up by the RAMSI police, known as the Participating Police Force, which come from all Pacific Island countries, contribute to the RAMSI police force. It's been enormously successful, and particularly in the restoration of law and order and in the rebuilding of government institutions. One of the most remarkable successes is the absence of weapons in the community. There will probably be no other post-conflict society that has as few weapons in the community. It's typical in a post-conflict society to be awash with weapons, and for those weapons to be used by former militants, either for whatever purpose. But in the Solomon Islands, in the last 9 years, there have only been 9 confirmed reports of firearms being discharged. That's an average of 1 a year, which is a truly remarkable statistic. And I think that augurs really well for a peaceful future for the Solomon Islands.